Good morning, everyone. Myself, Dr. Trina Dattu, Assistant Professor, JIS College of Engineering. Today, I am going to tell the lecture 5, that is acid rain and ozone layer depletion. That is under Module 2, Air Pollution and Control. The topic is effect on human health and climate. So the subject name is Environmental Science, subject code MC301 for odd semester, MC401 for even semester. This course is for undergraduate BTech students. The streams are CSE, IT, Civil, Mechanical, Electrical, EC and BME. This is a non-credited mandatory course and the prerequisite knowledge required, that is the 11 and 12 standard. So here I have given my website, the course page. You will get the course material there, and also I have furnished all the course material in BlendSpace. So this code, both the codes are given here. And if you have any doubt, then you can contact in my mobile number or in my email ID. So the today's topic, I told you that acid rain and ozone layer depletion. And what are the objectives of this lecture? The objectives are to develop idea about acid rain, its causes and harmful effects, to develop solution to control acid rain, to be aware about the root cause of ozone layer depletion and its effects, and also to take action to protect ozone layer depletion. So first topic, that is the acid rain. So what is acid rain? So very generally speaking, if acids come down with the rainwater, that is called acid rain. So there are different types of acids like sulfuric acid, nitric acid, hydrochloric acid, carbonic acid. So acid rain or acid deposition is a broad term that includes any form of precipitation with acidic components such as sulfuric or nitric acid that fall to the ground from the atmosphere in wet or dry forms. This can include rain, snow, fog, hail, or even dust that is acidic. So I hope that you have understood very well that what is acid rain. So what are the causes of acid rain? So what is the main causes of acid rain? So I told that H2SO4 is one of the component, one of the acid, or nitric acid, HNO3, also another acid. These are very important. So here you can see that sulfur dioxide and nitrogen dioxide. From there we get the acids. So main cause is oxides of sulfur and oxides of nitrogen for the formation of acid rain. So the sources of oxides. Now we have to find out the sources of oxides. We have understood the oxides, mainly the SO2, the SOX, rather say SOX, SO2 or SO3, and nitrogen oxide, NXOY or NO2, NOx. So these are the main cause for acid rain. Now we have to find out how these gases are created or what are the source of these gases. So sources of oxides are burning of fossil fuel, thermal power plants, textile industries, steel plants, oil refining, automobile exhaust, explosive industry, coal and gas fired furnaces, fertilizer industry, petroleum refineries. So how acids are formed? These are the reactions. So first sulfur reacts with oxygen, we get SO2. SO2 reacts with oxygen, we get SO3. When SO3 combines with water, we get sulfuric acid, H2SO4. Next for nitric acid. So N2 plus O2, we get NO. NO plus half O2, we get NO2. NO2 plus half O2, we get NO3. Now, if NO plus NO2, we take the first two, NO and NO2, then we get N2O3. Now, if we take the second and third one, NO2 and NO3, NO2 and NO3, then we get N2O5. So, N2O3 plus H2O, that is HNO2, N2O5 plus H2O, we get HNO3. So these are acids formed from the oxides of nitrogen. Next is like carbonic acid. How it is formed? Carbon reacts with oxygen. We get CO2 in the atmosphere. CO2 plus H2O, we get carbonic acid. So these are the main acids which remain in the acid rain. So we can understand very well that sulfuric acid comes from the oxides of sulfur. Nitric acids come from the oxides of nitrogen. And carbonic acid comes from the oxides of carbon. Okay, now let's come to the effects of acid rain. So effects are very severe, and you can understand that acid, if the water is acidic, which we are using, that is how much harmful, because acid has a corrosive property. So first is effects on aquatic biota. So you can see in the picture so many fishes are dead. So the effects are many aquatic species disappear. Phytoplankton production reduced. Bacteria and blue-green algae are killed. So severe the effect of acid rain. Next, the effects on terrestrial ecosystem. Terrestrial ecosystem means the land-based ecosystem. Land-based ecosystem may be like grassland ecosystem, maybe forest ecosystem, maybe desert ecosystem. All these are terrestrial ecosystem. So here photosynthesis retarded, leaves become yellow. Next is agricultural productivity reduced, because you know that soil will become acidic as the water will come acidic in nature. So in the plants the nutrient imbalance will take place because the different metals will solubility will differ in the acids. That is why the nutrient imbalance takes place in the plants, and that is very important, the effects of acid rain on building. So it causes severe damage to building. So you can see the Taj Mahal, it is the picture before and the picture now. So how it happens? It happens by this reaction. You know that Taj Mahal made of marble, and marble contains calcium carbonate. So calcium carbonate plus sulfuric acid, we get calcium sulfate, water and CO2. So the calcium carbonate is insoluble in water, but calcium sulfate is soluble in water. So what happens when rain comes? The calcium sulfate being soluble, it leached out with the rainwater. In this way, the building or Taj Mahal, one of the major example, are damaged due to acid rain. So this type of damage in the building is called stone cancer. So if it is asked that what is stone cancer, write down the reaction, then you have to give this reaction and you have to explain. Effects on human. What are the effects? So in general water, many heavy metals are not soluble, but heavy metals like cadmium, mercury, chromium are soluble in acid. So what happens? These heavy metals easily reach to human body. And you know that heavy metals are mainly carcinogenic. And next is acid rain causes respiratory and skin disease. Effects on sculpture. So you can notice the picture, what happened to this. This is the previous in 1908 and this is the present scenario. So acids have a corrosive effect on limestone or marble, buildings or sculpture. So now we have to think about the control. So how we can control? So we have to remove the cause. So what is the cause? I told you that is mainly the gases like sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, SOx, NXOY, the oxides of sulfur and oxides of nitrogen. So somehow we have to reduce this amount. So reduce amount of sulfur dioxide and oxide of nitrogen released into the atmosphere. So use cleaner fuel. So what we told that we have to reduce the amount of sulfur dioxide and nitrogen dioxide, oxides of nitrogen and oxides of sulfur. So main source, what are the main source? Main source are burning of fossil fuel. So we have to think the alternate resource. Alternate resource, it may be like solar energy, wind energy. Okay, so the use other sources of electricity like nuclear power, hydroelectricity, wind energy, geothermal energy and solar energy. And nowadays we are using all this energy and we are trying to explore more, because we know that electricity generated, it is also based on fossil fuel. And if it is based on fossil fuel, so oxides of sulfur and oxides of nitrogen will be generated. So we have to use the cleaner fuel. Next is fuel gas desulfurization. That means if sulfur is present in the petrol, diesel, the fuel gas, we have to remove the sulfur. That is a desulfurization. Reducing the acids using lime. So these are the methods to control acid rain. Or another we can do that recycling of the oxides of sulfur and oxides of nitrogen. That means which are already produced, already coming from the industry. Okay, that is a picture like from the automobiles. So we can recycle. We can send to sulfuric acid plants, we can send to nitric acid plants for sulfur dioxide and nitrogen dioxide. And it is like from the automobile exhaust, these are coming, so we can convert in another gases, then it can go to the atmosphere. So in this way, either which are already produced, which gases are already produced, we can convert or we can recycle, and which are not produced, we can reduce the production. So these are mainly two ways to control the acid rain. Okay, now very easy assignment. Okay, first question. Which of the following has highest contribution in acid rain? Okay, can you tell this? So answer will be H2SO4. Next question is, which components are responsible for acid rain? So the options given like O3, SO2, O2, lead. So we know that mainly responsible either oxides of sulfur or oxides of nitrogen. So answer will be SO2. These are the short answer type question. Write down the cause, effect and control of acid rain. So you have learned what are the cause, effect, what are the effects on terrestrial ecosystem or aquatic ecosystem, human being, most important the building and sculpture, and how we can control it. Okay, show the reaction how acid rain formed from SOX and NOx. So for this you have to give the reactions. So I have already shown, but again I am showing. These are the reactions you have to show. And if the reaction asked for the stone cancer, then you have to write this reaction for stone cancer. So the next question is, define stone cancer along with reaction. So I have already shown you that what is stone cancer and which reaction you have to write. Okay, now let's move to another topic, that is ozone layer depletion. So here also we will learn what are the cause, what are the harmful effects and how we can control. So ozone depletion. What is ozone depletion? It is the gradual thinning of Earth's ozone layer in the upper atmosphere caused by release of chemical components containing gaseous chloride or bromine from industry and other human activities. The thinning is most pronounced in the polar region, especially over Antarctica. Why over Antarctica? Because in Antarctica region, the chlorine remains for long years. That is why in the Antarctica region, we get a big hole like a size of continent. So ozone depletion means the decrement of the ozone layer by the reaction of different chemicals. So now there may be a question that ozone is harmful or helpful. You may be confused that ozone is harmful or helpful, because you have learned in previous lecture that ozone is very harmful and this one is a criteria pollutant. So ozone, which ozone is harmful? Tropospheric ozone is harmful. So in troposphere, how we get the ozone? We get ozone by these reactions. From NO2 we get nascent oxygen. Oxygen reacts with O2 and we get ozone. So this ozone, the tropospheric ozone, is very harmful. That is a secondary pollutant as it is derived, and the criteria pollutant. And how it is harmful? It reacts with oxides of nitrogen and hydrocarbons, and PAN is produced, and PAN is most important part of photochemical smog. Now the stratospheric ozone, that is the helpful. Why it is helpful? As it protects us from UV rays. So when we are talking about the ozone layer depletion, that is about the stratospheric ozone. And stratosphere, the main component of stratosphere is ozone. That is why this is called also ozonosphere. So we are mainly concerned about the stratospheric ozone, which protect us from UV rays. Okay, now clear that ozone is helpful or harmful. So ozone, when it is present in the troposphere, that is harmful. When it is present in the stratosphere, then it is helpful. So if the question is asked that which ozone, when ozone is helpful, when it is present, like say option 1, that it is present in the troposphere, it is present in the stratosphere, it is present in the mesosphere, or none of this. So you have to answer that it is present in the troposphere, then it is harmful. So how depletion takes place? Ozone layer depletion takes place in the stratosphere. So this is the mechanism. So ozone can be destroyed by a number of free radical catalysts, the most important of which are the hydroxyl radical, the nitric oxide radical, atomic chloride, and bromine. All of these have both natural and man-made sources. At the present time, most of hydroxyl and nitric oxide radical in the stratosphere is of natural origin, but human activity has dramatically increased the levels of chlorine and bromine. These elements are found in certain stable organic compounds, especially chlorofluorocarbons, which may find their way to the stratosphere without being destroyed in the troposphere due to their low reactivity. Okay, so mainly responsibles are chlorofluorocarbon. So there are chlorofluorocarbon is a group and there are different chlorofluorocarbon. So I am showing one of the example. So here CFCl3, that is one of the chlorofluorocarbon, and plus H nu. H is Planck's constant and nu is the frequency of electromagnetic radiation. Now, when it absorbs H nu, the chlorofluorocarbon will give chlorine, and chlorine is highly reactive, highly active. So it will attack ozone. So we will see in the next slide that how it attacked ozone. So either chlorine or bromine atoms can destroy ozone molecules through a variety of catalytic cycle. So we get here ClO. So ozone is destroyed and we get oxygen. Again ClO reacts with ozone and we get O2. So in this way the O3 is destroyed and we get O2. So now what are the harmful effects of ozone modification? So this is like skin cancer, because you understand that UV rays directly comes because there is no protection, no shield to protect us. So skin cancer, eye and lung irritation, reduce photosynthesis, affects crop productivity, affects weather pattern through interference with oxygen. So these are all effects of ozone modification. Next is the most important part, how we can control ozone layer depletion. So we have to remove the cause. I told you the cause is CFCs. Main cause is CFCs. And CFCs we use, actually not not recently we don't use, but previous ages we used in the refrigerator, in ACs, but nowadays we don't use. So we have to reduce the use of CFC. So there is a treaty. It is called Montreal Protocol, in which the use of CFC has been banned. So what is Montreal Protocol? Montreal Protocol is an international treaty designed to protect the ozone layer by phasing out the production of numerous substances that are responsible for ozone depletion. It was agreed on 16 September 1987 and entered into force on 1st January 1989. So actually it is a treaty and it was a conference at Vienna. So all the countries decided that to ban the use of CFC, and this is called Montreal Protocol. So in this way, ozone layer depletion now is under control. Okay, now assignment 4, that is write down the cause, effect and control of ozone layer depletion. So you can write cause, effect and control, and write down the reaction for ozone layer depletion. So you can write the reactions. And now the third question is, ozone is helpful or harmful? Explain. So you have to tell that tropospheric ozone is harmful, but the stratospheric ozone is helpful because it protects us UV rays. And tropospheric ozone causes the photochemical smog. So if we summarize the today's lecture, so you have learned the acid rain, its cause, effect and control. You have learned the stone cancer along with reactions, and you have also learned the ozone layer depletion, what are the cause, effect and how we can control it. So this is your assignment. You have to write the cause effect control of acid rain and cause effect control of ozone layer depletion in a Word or PPT format. Then create your own lesson and then share with my code. These are the reference books you can avail from the library, and the digital study material already uploaded. So you can go through it also. Thank you, students.